Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today, cryptocurrencies are experiencing a pretty sharp pullback, and that is due to a couple of factors. One of them being that we have seen a pretty strong run-up over the past week or so, and we finally came up on some resistance on a lot of these cryptocurrencies, so that caused a bit of the pullback. And we also saw a My Ether wallet hack, which was a DNS breach. And it wasn't the biggest hack, but I think what's important to realize with that is the fact that it's important in the sense that My Ether wallet really is key to all these ERC20 tokens. So if something bad happens with My Ether wallet, that's going to take a pretty hard hit on Ethereum and all the ERC20 tokens. So we have to be very careful with this type of stuff, and that's why this is a important and maybe concerning hack. It seems to be relatively under control for the time being. So I'm not too worried about it, but definitely something to pay attention to. And with that being said, just to go over what's been going on with the past 24 hours, a lot of cryptocurrencies seem to be down around 10% here today. So we're going to cover everything in our technical analysis, see if maybe it's time to sell or not. Of course, I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm just here to share my own personal opinion. And just to go over another quick bit of news, the NASDAQ CEO said that the company was open to becoming a crypto trading platform in the future. And I think that this is really cool because we've seen a lot of more traditional players, big players in the finance space, take some interest or maybe even starting to take action towards accepting cryptocurrencies and integrating cryptocurrencies into their platforms. And that's ultimately a great thing for cryptos long term. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates, and make sure to check out my premium content where you can find monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities. Let's get started with the Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin ran up to around $9,600 and started to pull back from there. So it didn't actually reach a major resistance area, and I think that its pullback was kind of a reaction to the resistance levels that Ethereum and Litecoin came up on. But Bitcoin isn't looking the best here. Unfortunately, it dropped back below $9,000 and lost its short-term uptrend line. So we could see a bit of a slowdown and maybe some consolidation here for Bitcoin unless we get a very quick bounce, within the next day or so. At this point, I think that will probably come and test this middle band, which is pretty much in line with our $8,000 support level, and we'll probably get a bounce off there, maybe a bit of consolidation before we start moving higher again. As long as we don't move below $8,000 or below the middle band, we're still okay. And as for the indicators, definitely took a hit here on the RSI. We lost our uptrend line and we rejected that 70 line, which is pretty bearish. Our MACD is still uptrending, so we could still get a bounce off the orange line, and hopefully that's what happens. This will be our first test of the orange line, so it's more likely that we get a bounce here, which is obviously good. Let's take a look now at Ethereum, which, like I said, came up on some pretty big resistance here at around $700. Pulled back from there, and we did get a bounce off our short-term uptrend line. We'll have to see if that holds. We could move lower and get a bounce off our a little bit more longer term and less steep uptrend line, which is this red one right here. That one is pretty much in line with the middle band as well. So if we move below this green one, that's probably where we'll be heading next. And to be honest, it does seem like a good possibility that that happens, right? We also dropped below the 70 line, which is pretty bearish. So wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a drop here for Ethereum after coming up on that $700 resistance level, which was an expected resistance level. Let's go ahead and take a look at Litecoin next, see what's been going on. So Litecoin also came up on some resistance here at $165, wasn't able to move higher. We're now pulling back to our uptrend line. We're still in our wedge here in our little channel that's uptrending, but we could move lower right below $145. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because at that point we're probably going to get a pretty big slowdown for Litecoin. But for now, we're still okay, right? We're still fully in our wedge, and if tomorrow we get a bounce, then we're in the clear here, when we should be continuing this one in this wedge, or maybe a little bit of consolidation between $145 and $165. So could see a slowdown here. It really depends on how strong we're going to be within the next day or two. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nano. Nano, unfortunately, did get hit pretty hard here. It's back towards 70,000 Satoshis, got a bounce off there. So for now, we're still okay, right? As long as we don't start moving below 70,000 Satoshis, we're still in our consolidation, which is fine. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple next. Ripple unfortunately did start moving below one of its support levels, so it's back below 84 cents, and it's right on top of its red short-term uptrend line. We'll see if we get a bounce there. If we don't, we're probably going to move a little bit lower to our green uptrend line, which is once again a little bit less steep, so that'll make it easier to sustain. But we're definitely moving back below the 70 line. And once again, it looks like a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to be coming back towards their middle band. So for Ripple in specific, that's at 68 cents, and that's probably where we're going to get a bit of a bounce before we start moving higher again. Let's go ahead and take a look at NEO. Now, NEO hasn't been the strongest out there. It's definitely been progressing in the right direction. Unfortunately, it did lose its short-term uptrend line after touching that $85 resistance level. And big red candlestick, we're coming very close to our uptrend line. That's probably where we're going to get a bounce. The one thing that's unfortunate here is we don't have too many big support levels in this area. The only one I'd say is around $60. So I want to make sure that we get a pretty quick bounce off the middle band and start moving back towards $75. It'll make it easier to avoid a drop then. But for now, it looks like we could really see a little bit of a slowdown here for NEO. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be, let's see, next up is Stellar Lumens, and let's take a look at what's been going on. So right now, Stellar Lumens is moving back towards its red uptrend line. Probably going to get a bounce there. That's probably going to correspond to a bounce off our middle band as well. Sorry, our MACD. And quite a bit of selling volume actually took a very big hit on the RSI, moving back below the 70 line. So Stellar did see a pretty massive run up, and the sharper pullback is kind of understandable due to the quick run up. With that being said, we do have multiple layers of support here with the middle band that's right in line with our uptrend line, so good chance that we get a bounce there. And if we don't bounce there, probably going to get a bounce off 3,500 Satoshis. Let's take a look at Vertcoin next. Vertcoin hasn't been moving up the fastest. It has been pretty consistent, however. Right now we dropped below our short-term uptrend line and we're bouncing off our middle band. So that's good. With that being said, if we don't get quickly back above our short-term uptrend line, we're probably gonna move back up a little bit slower, and took a pretty hard hit here on the indicators, not gonna lie. We're moving back towards $2.20. Don't necessarily expect us to move lower than that unless the whole crypto market start tanking, but definitely could cause a bit of a slowdown unless, like I said, we see a pretty swift bounce. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Lisk, and see what's been going on. So we're going to take a look at the Bittrex chart here. Lisk moving back towards its middle band. Has a lot of support at around $10, so I don't really see it moving below that. At this point, we're probably just going to slowly but surely trend higher along our uptrend line over here. Definitely took a bit of a hit here on the RSI as well. We lost our uptrend line. Let's take a look at Cardano next, see what's been going on. So Cardano is currently moving below 3,000 Satoshis, and we're going back towards our middle band and uptrend line. Pretty strong hit on the indicators as well here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is Iota. So Iota is currently moving back towards its middle band as well. Also have support at $1.47, so should get a pretty nice bounce there. The general consensus for a lot of these cryptocurrencies is, this pullback was expected in the sense that we got a pretty big run up, and we have to get some breathers here and there. The one thing that's unfortunate was we did lose our short-term uptrend lines. The good thing is that we still have, a couple support levels to still, not make us lose hope that we're going to start downtrending again or anything like that. Mainly our middle band is going to be very key here, as that needs to support the prices higher again, and hopefully that happens. That should happen, but once again, we'll really have to see over the next 2 days, I'd say, kind of gauge the strength, and I'll be updating you throughout all of this. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.